Your boy Matt here. This is a personal update for 5 October 2025, and it's a bit of a rant. This one is mainly describing just how fucking retarded the military is. So I kind of got my first kind of big power bubble thing when I started writing policy for the Australian Defence Force, like our doctrine and that shit. And that's a bit strange for me to say because I do not have an academic background in strategy or any of these things. I didn't go to a staff college. What I am is a relatively switched on bloke who was running in the correct circles, and I kind of had the opportunity to sort of steer our national direction in some pretty key areas with that. I'm in Canberra. I had access to people. But what happened is, because I am technically a veteran, and at the time relatively young, I'm now 30 years old because these guys have stolen most of my life so far. All the years from 20 to now, and the lack of progress I have made materially are a result of the behaviour of the Australian Defence Force. I need to say that again, the Australian Defence Force is responsible for my life being as shitty as it is more than any other party. They enslaved me. I signed no contract. I haven't even been paid. Even if you're a conscript, you get paid. And they put me through. They gave me access to some mentors online through a program, but I didn't get any say about it, and I didn't get any say if these people were going to interact with me or not. They just fucking did. And I did work with that to my benefit. So they saw me, they're like, hey, we've got a recruiting problem. This guy, he's running in the correct circles. It's kind of, and he's obviously writing some really good policy. He's influencing how we're thinking strategically. We're going to ass rape him and make him one of us. And for a little while I was kind of open to the idea. Like, remember, like, I grew up doing cadets as a kid. I attended the Naval College when I was, I think, 19 at the time. Like, you know, I'm oriented in the direction where I want good things to happen for my country, and I am skilled at violence and understand these things, so I'm good at doing that kind of work. I've now realised that truly this is nothing that I want anything to deal with. And the biggest reason why is that the military is filled with terrible people. There is a sort of facade which gets put on with the nice uniforms, our monuments, all these things, which gets people to forget that these people sign a contract where they get the opportunity to kill people. They get to be in a community which is skilled in violence. It gets to legally use violence, and a lot of the traits which are associated with that are not good personality traits. Okay, I'm saying this as someone who understands that I have a little bit of that dark side in myself, and I know when to use it. But these people, they're looking for an opportunity to participate in that kind of behaviour, and many of these people, and I don't think people want to really acknowledge just how many of them are like this, because in our culture we've got this thing for respect for veterans. We have Anzac Day, we have these things. The Americans, I think they have a Veterans Day, they have similar cultural practices. It kind of hides and disguises the very simple reality that that the military is just filled with terrible people who choose to go there because it's an opportunity for them to be terrible people. The most obvious example of this is in the United States at the moment, where they've got their dickhead head of Department of Defense, who has now made it authorized the abuse of trainees, and saying, hey, you can now grab your trainee and shake him up and traumatize him as much as you want. Like, for him, the military, the bastardization, these very silly behaviours, they are the appropriate behaviours. This is what they want. This is the world they want to live in. It's not a good world. And you'll see this, like, most commonly when the military does very stupid things. Like, we have, most famously, in recent memory, in Afghanistan, and this was under Obama, right? So he got the Nobel Peace Prize. He got the Nobel Peace Prize for sending fucking drones to assassinate random members of the community. And the result is that once they kill that person, all the people they kill the civilians around that person, is that they piss off the community, and they have this never-ending cycle of those people hating them. Okay? And that's the military. Because you got a lot of these people who understand the world in this sense of hierarchy, legitimate authority through ranks and this command and control structure, and through this violence and the enjoyment of this violence. So to them, like, that's totally a valid thing to do in their worldview, is to kill a civilian, so to pacify a region, because they want to dominate each other and control each other. And when they shift from their insular community to the wider community, it's just a continuation of the same thing. Like, it's very human. Like, their dysfunction of the military and the general dysfunction of military institutions is very human and very much just a result of what these group of people are doing, okay, and the kind of people who are attracted to these institutions. So myself, who's currently being really, really badly abused by members of the military, right, whilst having provided no threat to national security, actively tried to assist us in our global objectives, such as my advocacy for against AUKUS, and things like that, because I don't fit within their command and control structure and their totalitarian worldview, because these guys are fascist cunts often. Many of these people are just very bad people. Let's make that clear, right? They need to abuse me so that it continues on with their worldview of control and domination and hierarchy, and helps them orientate themselves in their pecking order, right? Like, all that happened was that you had a very intelligent bloke who had an interest in military strategy, who provided you some excellent free consulting work, and who provided immense value to your institution. And you saw this, you were like, we're gonna fucking make that guy ours. We're going to destroy his fucking life until he conforms to what we want from him. And the result is that, well, now I own a patent for a multi-billion-dollar piece of technology. I have my connections with my friend Jordan Peterson, who's going to ensure that piece of technology remains under our name, and he's certainly going to get a cut, because he's not fucking around either. He's not going to fuck around. He's going to do a lot of very difficult and important work. And all these things, is that the world has just seen how shit you are. The world has seen how just terrible the military is as just a group of people. Forget it being the Australian military, the Nigerian military, whatever fucking military it is. It's the nature of these institutions. It's like, you know, this guy, he joined the Aryan Brotherhood. He must be a good bloke. He must really like, you know, standing up for his brothers and sisters and fighting along them in their warrior culture, right? That's kind of the same fucking thing with the military. Army's the worst for it. It's my least favourite of the three branches. And all that's been asked is for these cunts to stop harassing me and leave me alone. And it's deeply concerning to me how they can't seem to fucking do that. They need to, like, just to abuse people. If they're not abusing a person, their orientation in the world kind of falls away. It's like, why did I do all this military training and got so good at causing other people suffering if I don't get to do it? And what will happen is that it will either be some civilian, some external person who gets abused by them, but most often it's them doing this to each other, right? Military operations are not particularly traumatizing, okay? The actual work of the violence and all of that stuff is not the traumatizing part of the military. It's how these dumb shits treat each other. And worse still is that the process of bastardization and abuse, what they call discipline and all that crap, it kind of brings up its own mythos. And through this mythology and ideology that they construct, it then gets seen as a good thing. They feel joy as they go towards abusing one another. And then civilians in the community, and they feel as if they're conforming to a set of values that their culture has constructed as they do this, and that they are then good soldiers. But it's entirely bullshit. It's fabricated, and it's just a means of nasty people to feel okay being nasty people. And that's what the military is. And in my case, they've displayed these behaviours quite publicly. They've alienated a person who was a potential asset, who would always have stayed as a civilian, who would have happily worked alongside them to do work and shit. But they just abused him so completely and for no legitimate reason, no strategic reason. And they did this in front of the world to see. Like, and there's another side to the military, and I'm going to finish off very quickly here because I don't want to waste anyone's time. But they are obsessed with appearance and public appearance. They like to have their crisp uniforms. They like for the public to admire and respect them. I think that's the biggest, one of the biggest and most sad things about the military. Like, often they'll have these very mediocre achievements and they'll get a medal. Like, dude, I'd have like 3 medals of gallantry if I was in the military at this point. As a civilian in my sector, I don't get medals, okay? I just deal with hectic shit and terrible situations and I get on with it. But these dorks, these pathetic losers, they are obsessed with public opinion, and they don't get a good rap with it, and it's appropriate. They've really fucked up. They look really fucking stupid right now. They enslaved a person. They didn't pay him for his work. He provided excellent analysis to them. He was very open to working with them as in a consultancy role of some kind. But to them, their need for domination and control, the fact that these people are fascists, they are. Like, there's nothing proto about them. They're just terrible people, and their worldview is horrific. And they do not have the philosophical sophistication often to be decent human beings, right? These people. Oh, and I need to add, it doesn't matter if they've got rank or they go to staff college. Just the nature of these institutions rewards and selects for and discriminates against people who are not completely fucking retarded. Like, that's why we have this revolving thing of terrible military leaders in Australia. particularly in Army. Army is the worst for this, of the three branches. Army is fucking useless. Just like Navy has it together a bit. Around 2008, they realised that they couldn't keep going with their culture. They needed to rebuild themselves as an institution. I butchered the poor admiral's name, but around 2008, that's where there was a reorganisation of the Navy. Army's never really gotten there. And I don't like any of these people or any of these institutions, but Army's performance as like a national instrument is by far the worst of our three services. And they are the worst for bastardizing their own soldiers and just behaving in a way where that no constructive outcome can be reached, because they need to have this dominance. They exist on dominance and bastardization, and when they stop doing that, they get confused, right? So that's the rant. Fuck the Army. Anzac Day, when you see those people walking down the street, just remember, around half of them are cunts. 20% of them want to be war criminals, and you should not respect them. They're just as bad as the police in this regard. Have a lovely day.